Hello, wonderful people. Thank you so much today. Thank you for joining us this afternoon for yet another wonderful online discussion. I can't believe that it's already episode 10, that we are already in episode 10 of these online discussions. Well, I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed by the grace and the love of God, but even also by your support. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your support. It is one thing for me to sit here and discuss these things by myself. It is yet another thing for you to follow constantly and continually, and even for you that go a step further, even to share the videos on your own Facebook pages and accounts. Well, thank you. I take this opportunity to thank you and to thank you so much. I'm grateful to God. Like I've said, I can't believe that it's already episode 10 that we are doing today. When I started, honestly, not that I'm very good at it, but I was very fearful. Even now, I'm very fearful. I'm always tensed up before these recordings, but God's grace has been sufficient, and I thank Him even for the gift of utterance. Talking for 20 minutes, non-stop, it takes grace. It takes the grace of God, and I acknowledge the divine enablement and divine empowerment of Jehovah God. And so today, once again, in case you're joining us for the first time, or you're yet to understand what Favor Book Club is about, Favor Book Club was started with the intention of encouraging and influencing more people to read. And what are these people reading? Because I realize there are people that have the desire to read, the passion for reading books, but they don't know where to get these books. Well, by the grace of God, I've started up a library, a Favor Book Club library, where you can borrow and hire books at a very low fee, after a very low fee, for a stipulated amount of time. For this time, for this duration, we are only giving people for 1 month, so that someone can be encouraged and, challenged to do better, read more, and discipline themselves, even to set guidelines, to set standards for themselves by which to go by, and finish reading the book and return it, borrow another book, or even buy a book. And like I've said, we've also managed to help a few people that were looking for particular books and they didn't know where to get them. They got in touch with us and we were able to help them purchase those books. You can also get in touch with us. We will help you in the same way, to the glory of God. And I know we shall continue to grow together. Because there's a proverb in Kikuyu that says, the journey of one man, a journey of one man, a journey of one man. If you ever find a man traveling alone, it is only because it is at night. And well, before we get to that, we want to travel together and go together in this journey. And I know we shall be of help to each other. Well, at Favor Book Club, we always go by this tagline, that hashtag I'm an African and I read. Hashtag I'm an African and I read. When I was growing up, I used to hear people say that if you want to hide something from an African, put it in a book, put it in a book. And even the people that were quoting that statement, they were not doing it to encourage us to read books. They were not doing it to motivate us to read books. They were not doing it to challenge us to denote that statement, that negative statement. It was like they were rubber stamping it. Yeah, it's like they were saying it to rubber stamp that what was initially said about Africans and books was actually very true. Well, it got to a point and I decided, well, it's high time somebody did something about it. And I know that even as we continue, keeping this revolution going, that hashtag I'm an African and I read, I know we are being helped, and I know that we are moving a step further and forward in the right direction. Well, I want to read for us our verse of the week, our Bible verse of the week. And it says, Proverbs 8:15, that because of me kings reign and rulers make just decrees. Because of me kings reign and rulers make just decrees. Who is saying this? It is nobody else but our beloved sister Wisdom. In our last episode, in our previous episode, we had her saying that we had the word of God telling us that we should esteem wisdom, the way we esteem our beloved sister. So this time round, wisdom herself is telling us, and I don't know why the Bible regards wisdom in the feminine, like she's a female, she's a she, that she's telling us in Proverbs 8:15, because of me kings reign and rulers make just decrees. So kings reign by wisdom, rulers make decrees by wisdom. Like King Solomon. You remember the story of King Solomon? When two women went before him and told him, oh, we agreed with it, woman, that today we eat my baby, then tomorrow we eat her baby. But she slept on her baby and her baby died, and now she wants my baby who is alive. But the one woman was saying, let the baby be cut into two pieces and each woman be given a piece of a baby. And Solomon was able to, to judge that, to judge it, because of wisdom, because of the wisdom that he had. In another episode, I think it was probably episode 6 or episode 7, I remember talking about how Solomon was instructed by his father David that anytime he would appear, or the God, the maker of the universe would appear to him, that the first thing he should ask of him should be wisdom. And Solomon did exactly that. On the day of the dedication of the temple, after offering the goats and the bulls and all the silver and the gold they have given towards the building of the temple, when God appeared to him that night in a dream or in a vision and asked him what he wanted, Solomon was careful to ask for wisdom. And now, here again, we are hearing the word of God telling us, Proverbs 8:15, that because of me kings reign and rulers make just decrees. If you are to make just decrees, Solomon was able to make a just decree, judging between those two women, that one woman wanted a baby cut into two pieces, thereby killing it. But Solomon was able to judge, make a right decree, make a just decree because of wisdom, as a result of wisdom. Like I said, the more I talk about wisdom, the more I talk about knowledge, the more my personal hunger and desire for knowledge, it keeps growing, and it keeps growing bigger and bigger. And I hope that is your story too, and your testimony too, because wisdom is profitable to direct. Amen. Today I want to talk about something that has been tested and proven in the scientific world. They have conducted tests, and this is what they have found out: that reading reduces stress. Reading reduces stress by a 60% higher rate. 60% higher rate than jogging, exercising, going to the gym. Reading reduces stress by a rate that is 60% higher. Not that going to the gym will not help you reduce stress. Not that jogging will not help you to reduce stress. But reading reduces stress by a 60% higher rate than jogging, exercising, or even listening to music. Can you believe that? It is not a fable. It has been proven scientifically that reading reduces stress by a 60% higher rate than jogging, exercising, or listening to music. Why is this? Because you can be jogging, you can be out on the streets jogging or in a field jogging, but your mind is still not at peace. Your mind has not yet calmed down. Probably if you are angry with somebody or at a situation at your workplace, and you decided to go out jogging. Even as you're jogging, you're still thinking about that your colleague that made you furious. You're still thinking about your wife and how she's rude. You're still thinking about your husband and how he mistreated you. You're still thinking about your children and how they have become so notorious, so disrespectful. You can be on that treadmill, exercising, but you're still thinking of how your business is not registering profits. It's just making losses. But while reading, you cannot be reading and concentrate on reading, and your mind is still doing some funny journeys, still diverted, still thinking about other things. When you're reading and you need to concentrate on what you're reading about, your mind needs to be calm. So number one thing, yourself, you have already caused your mind to be calm, to be still, and to focus. Not by an external stimuli, not by an external force, not by an environmental element, not by using any other element, but you yourself, you have managed to make your mind to calm down. You have managed to make your thoughts to calm down, to stop wandering and popping and traveling all over. You're able to cause your mind to calm down and focus on what you're reading. The minute you're able to make your mind to do that, then your breathing is regulated. Your heartbeat is no longer racing or beating at a higher rate. Your what is it called? Your blood pressure is already normalized, even as you sit down to read. Because you cannot be reading and your mind is also thinking of how your colleagues, you did what? Hijacked your project, your research, and presented it to the boss with an aim and intention of getting a promotion that both of you are aiming at or eyeing. Reading requires for you to be calm. Reading requires for your mind to be settled. Reading requires for your senses to be cool and calm and collected. Reading requires that you're cool, calm, and collected. Reading requires that you're in a quiet environment or in a conducive environment for you to be able to focus and concentrate on what you're reading. Therefore, by you yourself being able to bring all your senses, to align together, to agree, that your mind will be able to absorb whatever you're reading in that book. That by itself has reduced the stress, has cut the stress. That's why these studies that have been conducted, scientific studies, have proven and shown that reading actually does reduce stress by a 60% higher rate than jogging, exercising, or listening to music. So, should we read more? I think we should read more. Should we stop jogging? Definitely not. We shouldn't stop jogging. We need this body. We need to live 10 years more. We need to live longer. So we need to exercise. So I'm not saying that you stop jogging. I'm not saying that you stop exercising. I'm not saying that you stop listening to your favorite music. I'm just saying scientific studies have shown, even as we do all these things, that reading does actually reduce stress levels by a 60% higher rate than all these things. And you know what? Even as you're jogging, even as you're exercising, I've seen people on the treadmill, they have their headphones, listening to music, which is good. But you know what? We can still be jogging or exercising on the treadmill and listening to our favorite audiobook, listening to our favorite book, reading our favorite book with the audio version. And thank God for technology. Thank God for technology that even now, even the internet, we can easily find books, ebooks, audiobooks that we can download from the internet or buy from where they are available. And by that, even as you're jogging, you're still reading and listening to your favorite book, listening to your favorite author on audio. And I know that we shall be helped to the glory of God. I hope I'm speaking some sense today. I'm speaking like a scientist today. So I hope I'm making sense to some people. So let us continue interacting more and more on our social media handles. And on Twitter, it is Favor Book Club. And this is our hashtag, that hashtag I'm an African and I read. On Instagram, it is Favor Book Club. Favor Book Club. On Facebook, it is Favor Book Club Facebook page. And like always, after this, I shall be tweeting and posting about the book I've been reading, how it has helped me, how long I've been reading it, and what I've garnered from it. And I would request you to do the same. I would request us to do the same. Why are we doing this? Because we want to keep this revolution going. We want to keep this revolution going. Let us keep it alive for our generation, for our children, for our future generation. Let them, when they come, find us already with a reading culture that they can buy into, that they can emulate, a reading culture that they can emulate. Because reading, it will not only help us reduce the stress, but it will help us to garner wisdom. It will help us to garner knowledge. And I know that we shall be helped. Well, I always have for us our quote of the week. Our quote of the week today. Our quote of the week, it says that wisdom is your third eye and knowledge is your third arm. Wisdom is your third eye, knowledge is your third arm. I remember when we were growing up, our grandmothers would tell us scary stories of giants and ogres, or as people call them, ogress. Ogres, O-G-R-E-S. And they would tell us that the giants are, they have a big eye here, a red eye here. So imagine if you had it yourself, a big eye, or at the back of your head. If you had an eye at the back of your head, that will help you to see the people that backbite you and talk about you behind your back, to be able to see the enemy that is following to attack you. If it was at night and you are walking along a dark path or a dark alley or on the streets, and you had a third eye at the back of your head to be able to see that attacker before he attacks you, I believe you'll be able to run or call for help or turn around to attack him before he attacks you. So imagine, this is what wisdom is saying. That wisdom is your third eye, knowledge is your third arm. And this quote is by a man called, I need grace to pronounce this name. This quote is by a man called Mashona Diziwayo. Mashona Diziwayo. Diziwayo is spelled D-H-I-Z-I-Y-A-W-A-Y-O. Ziwayo. Mashona Diziwayo. This is what he's saying, that wisdom is your third eye, knowledge is your third arm. Imagine if you had 3 hands, 3 arms. One could be cooking, another one could be writing, the other one could be buttoning your shirt. How awesome would that be? But you know what? Knowledge is your third arm. Because like we said in our other episode, I believe it was episode 8, that false knowledge is more dangerous than ignorance. False knowledge is more dangerous than ignorance. So the opposite of it is true. That true knowledge is profitable. True knowledge is profitable. So what are we saying? When this man is saying that knowledge is your third arm, when you're armed with knowledge, it's like a third arm. It saves you a lot of trouble. It cuts your work by half. It cuts your efforts by half, because you're able to apply the knowledge that you know and the wisdom that you know. If someone gave you a car and you did not know how to drive it, chances are you will wreck that car, get into an accident, and God forbid, but you would probably lose your life or get injured or lose a limb in the process. But if you had the knowledge to drive that car will not only excite you, it will not only make you happy, but it will cut your travel time by half. If you are used to traveling by matatu, a 2-hour journey is cut by half. You're there in an hour's time or even less. So what are we saying? Knowledge is your third arm and wisdom is your third eye. Wisdom will give you insight. Wisdom will help you to make wise decisions, that you avoid making costly errors and mistakes, and you're helped thereby. So Mashona Diziwayo is telling us wisdom is your third eye and knowledge is your third arm. I hope by the grace of God I'll be able to explain that quote very well, and I know that you shall be helped. Our parting shot at Favor Book Club is that with Favor Book Club, you are capable of doing amazing things. With Favor Book Club, you're capable of doing amazing things. We not only want you to peruse our Favor Book Club Facebook page to hire or to rent a book or to buy a book from us one time, but we want to grow together to a level where all of us will be reading the same book in 1 month. All of us will be able to purchase and read the same book for 1 month, and we do a very good review on it at the end of that 1 month. And also that at the final end, we will have built our own personal home libraries. That is my desire. That is my desire for us. And I know that God is on our side to help us. So thank you for joining us. This is episode 10. And like I said when we were beginning, I thank the Lord so much. I am honored. I'm honored and privileged to have been privileged to have come this far. It's not the end. I know that God has greater and better things in store for us. But for this far, I acknowledge His grace, His goodness, and His faithfulness, and His empowerment. So until next time, may the Lord bless you and keep you. Let us keep it. #I'm an African and I read. God bless you.